I died and got trapped as a ghost. You won't believe what happened next. My tale stands apart from the usual yarns folks spin. It all began in that peculiar space between lives where I had my initial brush with what comes after. Picture this: clouds drifting in a way you've never seen on Earth, gracefully pirouetting in the sky, holding my gaze for what felt like days. Yet, before I knew it, 10 days had slipped by, and a voice chimed in, saying I had another 10,000 years to go. Then came a scene straight out of myth, a colossal golden edifice bustling with figures draped in robes, chatting beneath streams of radiant gold. A woman stood guard by imposing doors labelled King of Kings and Lord of Lords with the words "I am the Alpha" and the Omega etched nearby. She announced God awaited my audience. Inside, I knelt before the divine, who bid me stand. There, I was bestowed a new name, whispered by God's own lips. Alas, the name, its significance, faded like a distant dream upon waking, God's visage obscured by a brilliance akin to the sun. Memories blur from there. I recall a warning. That departure meant forsaking my former life. Despite pleas to linger, I eagerly chose to depart. Then, flashes of my return to life, from the sanctuary of my mother's womb to the harsh lights of a delivery room. Details flood in the nurse, the doctor's words, the chill in the air. Birth, marked by cries and the loving presence of kin. Skipping forward, my second departure differs from the norm. I sat in the back seat of my mother's car, resisting the embrace of a seatbelt. She drove, and suddenly I was seized by a fit of coughing, deep and unyielding. My mother's voice pierced the haze, her concern palpable. Coughing gave way to gasping, like a swimmer surfacing for air. Then, silence. I had a sudden urge to escape the confines of the belt, passing through it, as if it were air. Standing between the seats, I saw another passenger, a child, motionless. Attempts to rouse me failed. Panic ensued as my mother's friend searched for signs of life. Pulse non-existent, breath absent. The grim reality settled in, they deemed me gone. Their voices, fraught with disbelief, echoed in the car. Yet in that moment I felt oddly at peace, detached from the tumult unfolding around me. I glanced at my hands, noticing a strange transparency, like they weren't entirely solid. Curious, I swiped my hand through the passenger's arm, startling her with a shiver. She muttered about the cold, puzzled by the odd sensation. Then, a voice broke the silence, announcing it was time to depart. Suddenly I tumbled through the floor of the car and onto the street, right by Sonic. Panic crept in momentarily, but before I could dwell, I shot upwards at a dizzying pace. Clouds whizzed by, and in the blink of an eye, I beheld the earth in all its grandeur. I paused to marvel for a brief moment before hurtling backward through a tunnel, faster than before. My journey took me to a colossal planet, orbiting it briefly before veering off again. As I sped through a tunnel, I noticed a smaller one attached, seemingly pulling someone in with its dark allure. Instinctively I swam towards it, but a voice warned against it, urging me away. Hand in hand with a fellow traveller, we approached a radiant figure atop a cloud, with a luminous hand beckoning us. Settling on a cloud myself, I observed a gathering in the distance, a mix of figures joined in unity. A reassuring voice called out to me, dispelling fear. Approaching the voice, I witnessed a distant figure kneeling in prayer on a massive cloud. Despite the distance, every detail was clear. The voice urged me closer, noticing the mist enveloping my form, a sign of my in-between state. She explained the anomaly, the need for my return to Earth due to a mistake. Promising a return someday, she bid farewell as I plummeted back towards Earth. Landing back in my body, I awoke to the familiar surroundings, as if nothing had occurred,